How did Ryan lose? Ryan Garcia was one of the hottest undefeated upcoming superstars in boxing just a couple years ago before meeting Gervonta Davis in a mega fight years in the making, as Ryan finally got beat in crushing fashion. So this is the night Ryan Garcia got destroyed.
And by the way, we're Punch Talk and are bringing you daily combat sports videos, so if you enjoy the content, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel. So Ryan Garcia at 23-0 in his pro boxing career was beating some decent guys and finally took a massive step up in competition when he met Tank Davis in the ring. He was calling him out for years. He wanted this fight. He thought he had the style to beat him. He beat Southpaws before. He dropped the likes of Luke Campbell with a nasty liver shot. He did face some adversity in that fight, getting dropped by a big left hand in the second round from Campbell, but regardless, he made it through that fight. He made it through guys like Javier Fortuna and Manuel Tego, let alone those first round demolition jobs against Romero Duno and Francisco Fonseca. But Ryan in his pro career already had a kind of big name just because of his social media following. He was massive on Instagram, and his rise kind of came at the perfect time of social media, meeting boxing, right before the inception of this whole YouTube boxing influencer stuff happened. Don't get it twisted, Ryan Garcia is not an influencer boxer because he's been doing this pretty much his whole life, climbing up the amateur ranks, having over 200 wins in the amateur with a record of 215-15. Obviously, he had the boxing pedigree. He was getting highlight reel finishes, but finally, it was time to meet a more experienced guy, another fellow knockout artist who was stopping everyone else in his tracks in Gervonta Davis, beating everyone at lightweight. And a main factor of this fight that a lot of people point to is that weight and how Ryan Garcia went down to 136 pounds at a catch weight to meet Tank in the ring. But at the end of the day, it's Ryan Garcia who accepted the terms, accepted the offer, got into the ring, and it did not go his way.
Yeah, Ryan Garcia early on showed his character as one of these up-and-coming guys in the boxing world to be a very popular star and still take all the biggest fights out there regardless of the risk. These days in boxing, we see these prospects coming up, getting these undefeated, insane looking records. However, their resume is really not too impressive, and Ryan Garcia had been fighting tough competition. Gervonta Davis was a whole different beast, as he'd already fought very high level guys prior to facing Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia had no fear. This had been a very highly anticipated fight. People have been waiting to see these two very exciting figures in the boxing world coming up finally clash. Many people were favoring Tank Davis, especially with some of the advantages he had at this weight class. But Ryan Garcia has so many good attributes to his game. He has so many physical talents, like his incredible speed that everyone knows about, how he's able to land that left hook perfectly, and how he throws it completely like a whip pretty much. So many were looking to see if he was going to be able to land his legendary hook against Tank Davis, or if Tank would be able to knock him out. And in this fight, we saw early on, Ryan Garcia was very front forward. He was pushing the aggression, using pressure to his advantage, trying to back Tank up, was throwing a lot of shots early on, was already using his weapon of the left hook countless times early, a little too much to be honest, to the point was it kind of left any element of surprise from it away. Of course, he's able to use it multiple times while still using traps, but someone with the caliber of skill like Tank Davis is able to make reads, and especially early on, Tank was just kind of settling into the fight, making his reads, not doing anything too rash, too aggressive to get caught by the very fast Ryan Garcia. Tank Davis, even prior to this fight, admitted that he was very nervous for this fight. He knows the power that Ryan Garcia has, but regardless, Tank was staying very calm, patient, as he usually does. And through the rounds, Garcia just wasn't able to land anything substantial really. Tank was staying patient and was able to use his counters amazing, and we saw that quite early on as he dropped Ryan Garcia with a massive left short hand that put him down, a direct shot to the face. And this is the second time that we saw Ryan Garcia face adversity. He'd been dropped against Luke Campbell before, but now it was against Tank, and when Tank usually smells blood, it doesn't end well for the opponents usually.
Yeah, we saw a massive difference in especially composure, in my opinion. Just seeing the two in the ring, Ryan Garcia was very jittery, trying to find the shot, trying to be aggressive, trying to find something, trying to do something impactful to get Tank's respect, show him that he's in the fight, show him that he's in there, and Tank was just cool, calm, collected, patient, waiting for the shot. Gervonta has like a 90 95% knockout ratio. He puts everyone away, and against Ryan, again, he just showed that different level of just patience, not forcing the shots, not forcing the aggressiveness. Ryan Garcia was really trying to find that left hook, trying to overwhelm Tank just with the output, but it just wasn't working. Tank stayed composed, and even when it looked like Ryan had success, then Tank would find a big counter and change the tides his way. And something you don't usually see every day is Gervonta Davis starting to win rounds, and it was pretty much a masterclass from Gervonta Davis. Even in that 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds, it seemed like Tank was in full control. Ryan didn't have any answers. He didn't have that basic fundamental ability to stay disciplined behind a jab and just try to outbox Tank, hit and move. Instead, he would try to fight fire with fire, and Tank would end up winning most exchanges, landing the more impactful blows, and Ryan Garcia just was really never able to land anything too significant, get started too much, or even really get Tank's respect. It seemed like Tank didn't even have to get out of second gear in this entire fight, which is insane because Ryan Garcia is one of the most talented guys in these lighter weight classes. It seems like over the years since this fight, he's gotten a little bit bigger. He's outgrown this weight class, outgrown this size. He's now fighting at welterweight, 147 pounds against Rolly Romero coming up. So we just saw Ryan continuing to just chase down that highlight reel finish, trying to chase down and force a finish. Meanwhile, Gervonta just let it come to him, let Ryan play into his hands, found the perfect shot, found the perfect counters, and he was even outboxing Ryan Garcia and pretty much put on a masterclass, which you don't usually see every day in every Tank fight.
Yeah, and I think the main sticking point in the fight was purely accuracy as well. Tank Davis, the far more accurate guy, was finding the pinpoint shots, and that all accumulated towards the final blow, where Tank Davis found the perfect shot to Ryan Garcia's liver, and Garcia was not able to get up from the shot. But at the end of the day, it was a generational fight, a massive fight. Some of the best up-and-coming guys in this generation, especially for the lighter weights. And even though Garcia lost, that didn't stop him at all. He's still able to recover and have another massive fight against Devin Haney, where he shocked the world, pretty much dropping him many times and winning that fight. Of course, it would be overturned after when Garcia popped for Osterine. But regardless, it kind of shows that in boxing, if you're a young up-and-coming guy, just because you lose one fight against another talented boxer doesn't mean you're done, doesn't mean you're going to be finished in the sport. And I feel like this is the approach we can hopefully start seeing more in the future. People not being so protective and confident over their undefeated record, especially if it's not against guys that are anything too special. So Ryan Garcia was able to bounce back from this Tank loss, being Oscar Duarte, Devin Haney, and now has this upcoming fight against Rolly Romero. If he wins this fight and Devin Haney wins his fight as well on this time squared card, it's most likely going to set up the rematch between the two. And regardless losing against Tank, he's still going to keep on becoming a household name, of course, because he's really popular on social media. Now we're really seeing his abilities come into fruition against some top level guys in his weight classes. He's going to be moving up in weight though as well. He did miss weight against Devin Haney in their fight, which is also crazy considering that he had a rehydration clause against Tank. So now he's going to be fighting at a more natural weight class for him. He's had some issues in the past with depression and drinking, even with the lead up to the Haney fight, but it seems like he's a bit better now. He's a bit over that, and hopefully with this upcoming fight against Rolly Romero, we just see a focused Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Ryan Garcia took a big challenge in his career. He wasn't really expected to win against Tank, but regardless, he got in the ring. There's been a lot of excuses, him saying that was definitely not even close to the best version of him that night. He said there was a mole in his camp, he had a rib injury, it wasn't him fully, regardless of whether he came in 100% or not, because most fighters usually don't. Most guys don't walk into the ring 100%. There's going to be something that comes up in camp, especially preparing for a massive fight like this. So on this night, Ryan definitely came up short, and honestly, Tank put on a masterclass and kind of destroyed Ryan Garcia, beating him to the punch, devastating counter punches, and this was just not Ryan Garcia's night whatsoever. But let us know your thoughts in the comments down below on this fight and performance, with Ryan coming up short against Tank, taking his only loss. But if you guys enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and check out the video on screen on why Canelo vs. Skull will not be close.